name's Jim Verplet. I'm the Global Marketing Director for Cadillac, and I got to tell you, I'm thrilled to be here. Over the last 2 years of racing, we have been begging our race series to put a race in Texas because we told them this is the biggest market for us for V-Series, and you guys are here and you're proving it. So thank you so much for being here. Round of applause. Come on. Also, probably didn't get to meet everybody as you walked in, but if anybody here needs anything throughout the day, find somebody with a Cadillac Racing black polo like this. We got one over here. Anybody with a black polo that says Cadillac Racing can help you out. Make sure that you've got all your needs met. We want you guys to have a wonderful day, and I'm going to tell you what, we're in for a great treat today. This last video that we showed, that was a quick recap of last season. We're coming back into the series again as defending champions of the series. We're starting today. We ordered up just for you guys. Johnny O'Connell put the #3 Cadillac CTS-V on the pole, so we're starting from position 1. It's exciting. Andy's going to be in position 4, but again, if you've not been familiar with our series, we do a standing start. So they're going to do a standing start down on the grid, and everybody fires right into this first turn. So it's going to get really exciting the minute the green flag drops and we go green, because everybody's going to be trying to vie for position into that first corner. So I'm not going to talk much today. I'm going to turn it over to Don Harpo, who's going to give you a little bit about what you're going to see on the track. Don's also the pace car driver for the series, so he's going to finish his talk and he's got to get down to drive the pace car. But again, I wanted to welcome everybody here. Enjoy yourself. We're going to be here for a couple days. You got the best view of anybody in the track. Our drivers were up here yesterday and couldn't believe the view that we've got for everybody. You can almost see the whole track, which is the best view we've ever had at any of our corral packages. So welcome. I'm going to turn it over to Don, and again, thank you so much. And who's here from the V Club of Texas? Look at that. That's awesome. Thank you guys for your support. We're going to have your president up here in a minute to say a few words, but I wanted to thank all of them as well. I mean, that corral is pretty impressive. You see over 90 Vs parked out in that corral, which is great. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Don Harpo. And again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, sir. That was a pretty good response. It is an awesome day. We've tried to get it as warm as possible. The good news is that we do have shade and we got the breeze coming through here, so it's awesome. Was anybody with us during the V-Lab out here in the fall? I got one, I got two. Nice to see you again. You use all those powers for good? Wonderful. So you've had first-hand experience on this track. It's a world-class facility. It is an amazing place to be as far as a driver, but as you look out, they've done a wonderful job as far as a spectator goes as well. Jim pointed out that Johnny put the car on the pole. We've got Johnny O'Connell and we've got Andy Pilgrim. If you're not familiar with these two gentlemen, they don't get any better in the business. You'll meet them a little later, probably down in the paddock some point this weekend. They'll be milling around. Right now they've got something like a race or something they've got to get prepped for, so they've got a little bit of work going on. So they do a lot of preliminary work with the engineers, go over the car, go over the track, go over the last minute settings. So they're a little bit occupied right now. We're going to make our way down the hill this afternoon and we'll do a paddock tour down in there, the Pratt Miller garage area, where we're going to take a up close and personal look. But Johnny and Andy, not only they're world class in the car, but as you start to mix, mingle, and talk with them, they're world class out of the car, and you see why they have this job. Not only do they do the job on the clock, but they do the job once they're out of the car as well. I'm going to take you around this track real quick. If you haven't been around, we're climbing down the front straightaway right toward us, up the hill. Once we go past the timing and scoring tower, huge brake area. With the incline up the hill, it aids in our brake ability, but then as it gets to the top, it flattens out, and really a tough move there. Plunging down the hill, really quick right-hander as we look behind here, and into one of the best part of the track. It's a rhythm section, the S's. It's going to go left, it's going to go right, and then we're going to make a nice turn into our cutoff. We're not running the full circuit, but we're running the shortened circuit. Gives us more laps by the crowd. Through this little section here, setting up for our cut through, leading back onto the back stretch and down toward turn 12. This is where we turn lights off, drivers in the car are ready to go. It's when I put the pedal to the metal and get out of the way and let the pros go to work. So as we come through this little stadium section, it's so wide here. There's a variation in line that is amazing as far as a driver goes. So there's a really fast line, but then there's a defensive line if you're in traffic. So the interpretation from the driver is amazing. Great place to watch what they choose, where they want to go. Tracking out right under our tower here. Has anybody had a chance to go up the viewing tower yet? If you walk, it's about a 20-minute walk up. Bring a bottle of water. But as you come around this long sweeping, these are the quick corners. Down into turn 19, just a brush of the brakes, down one gear, turning left, back on the throttle, setting up probably for your last good passing area, down into turn 20. If you're going to make it happen before the start-finish line, this is where it's going to happen. Down to the inside, and the last few gear shifts up as we get down the front straightaway. Really active. I think we're 2.3 mile circuit, and we've got anywhere, depending on how you count the corners, anywhere from 17 to 20 corners. So the guys are going to be busy in there, not only with the steering wheel, but the gear as well. So they're going to be up and down through the gear. It does carry a 6-speed sequential. If you haven't experienced a sequential gearbox, makes it easier, but it's still a lot of work in the car for the guys. I'm going to take a look at the circuit real quick. If you have not been here, and I think you're getting familiar with it, there's a little bit of elevation change here, and that is it's a bit long to get around as far as on foot. So we do have shuttle services available, you know, the Escalades, and I believe here in a little bit we're going to have a shuttle van getting people around. But if you choose to walk around, I want to point out where the properties are that we've got. Not only are we here in the corral or our hospitality chalet, but down in the paddock, which is, and I hope I don't get any feedback. If I get feedback, I'm going to jump out of the way here. If you look down here toward paddock, right along the front straightaway, that's where we're going to go to see the Pratt Miller team get our tour of the car here this afternoon. Also, over by the reflection pond, if you look behind me by that tower, the viewing tower, if you go straight back toward the horizon, there's a black tent out there. That is our main display. We've got the simulator set up out there, so if you want to strap into a motion simulator, it's got the iRacing program with the CTSV race car in it, and you have a first-hand look at how the car gets around a racetrack in a virtual manner. So those are a few of the properties that we've got around here, and it does take a little bit of foot power to get there, but like I said, we also have shuttles that are going to get us around if you need that. Before we go and enjoy the race, I want to bring up a friend of mine. Mr. Caldwell is the engineering project manager, engineering, what is it?
Engineering manager.
He's going to tell you a little bit. I'm a loose nut behind the wheel. This is the man that knows all about the nuts and bolts going into it. I'm going to let him introduce you to the vehicles here a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Don. So I'm the engineering manager. I spend most of my time in the paddock. I'm responsible for making sure the car can win races. Really, as simple as I can put it. A little bit about what you're going to see. The World Challenge is a series of 14 races. This weekend is race 4 and 5. There's going to be 49 cars on the track. 19 of them are GT, and we're in the GT class, and then 30 of them are in GTS. Can you hear me? Oh, that sounds better. Thank you. So as I said, there's 49 cars, 19 are GT, the fast cars, and then the GTS cars. The difference is the GT cars have about 425 to 525 horsepower. The GTS cars have between 300 and 400 horsepower. So just be aware there's different cars in different classes. The GT cars all have a black windshield banner on the top of the windshield. The GTS cars have a gray windshield banner. About 4 laps in, the cars will be all mixed up in traffic, so it might be a little bit hard to tell who's racing who. We put together a technical guide. There's some of these on the tables. It explains how the race car and the street car are related to each other, and as the engineering manager on the race car, I have to say it's nice to work with a good street car. The architecture is the same. It's front engine, front transmission, and rear differential, same as the street car. And as Don mentioned, the gearbox, there are some parts that are modified and some parts are shared. About 80% of the suspension is modified to handle the higher loads. One of the biggest things people are surprised about is we don't have a supercharger on the race car. The series regulates the horsepower to weight ratios, and we're only allowed to run about a little over 500 horsepower, so we had to delete the supercharger. Other than that, like I said, it's the same type of front suspension. The Brembo brakes are very similar. In fact, the front rotors are the same diameter. They're a two-piece aluminum hat rotor, just like the street car and the race car share the same design criteria. And I think that's about it. I'm going to stick around. If you have any questions on this, I'll be around for about another hour, and feel free to stop by and I can explain more details. I think, Don?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Caldwell. So he's going to be around at your disposal. I always say during at a race facility or racetrack, always utilize the resources that are available to you, and that's a wonderful resource as far as the technical data, how the car is put together, why the car does what it does. If you want any life lessons or where to go this evening, I'll be around as well. I'll handle those questions. Like I said, we've got a fun-filled day. We've got activities in the paddock. We're getting ready to go racing here very shortly. Johnny and Andy, best in the business. They're ready to go ahead and strap on their equipment, get in that car, and put on a wonderful show. As we come by, stand up, let them see you cheer. They're going to enjoy it. We're going to have lunch, I believe, very soon. So in an orderly manner, food's going to be served. If I can help in any way, like Jim said early on, anybody dressed like this is going to be more than happy to do so. Before I go, though, Jim had mentioned that we've got the V Club here. Mike Franks is with us. I'm going to let him come up, introduce his group, and just say a few words. Thank you, Mike.
I appreciate it, and I really appreciate Cadillac inviting us to this event. It's been great. I want to thank Sewell Cadillac and Ken Batchelor Cadillac for supporting the V Club. And we started the club about 3 months ago, and we've already got 70 members here in Texas. You know, there's a lot of these in the state of Texas, and if you're interested in joining the V Club, we'd love to have you. I think we got 19 or 20 guys here that are members of the V Club. So if you have any questions, just let me know or talk to any one of the other members around. So I guess we got lunch now? Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us. Everybody, welcome. Food's open. Show's going to be great. Anything we can do, please don't hesitate to ask.